Hello there, ICS2O, folks. This is warm-up's going to be about me showing you a couple of little things about programming. Not much for you to do. You should have downloaded this code, and it should be sitting there right in front of you. There's a few points I want to make. Um, First of all, notice I got my header there with the program and the programmer, and the version and the purpose. The purpose is to show nested structures and demonstrate the get :* command. So those are the two things we're going to talk about, but I'm going to talk about a couple of other things too, so thanks for listening. Notice that all the green stuff are comments, and so in my program I have quite a few comments that helps me explain what's going on in my program. So that's an important thing for you to do. Um, the other thing I want to mention, um, notice that right now I don't have any indenting. And the indenting is an important thing, not only for you to make your program more readable, but it's a good way for you to find your own mistakes. So the first thing you should do is on this program is hit the indent button. And then some good things happen because you'll be able to see this idea of a nested structure. So a nested structure is just like a nest, like an egg sits inside a nest, right? Um, and just like this, we have a structure that is inside another structure. So for instance, right here, there is a case structure. There's a case structure where, and hopefully you've sort of figured out what this program does, but it asks the person, the user, whether they have a level or a percent, and then we'll convert it to the other one for them. It's a combination of the last couple of programs we've been doing. But this has a case structure embedded right in the if structure. And I can see the inside one because when I hit the indent button, it looked like it was inside. And then the if else, I can read that. If choice equals level or level, it'll go through the level conversion. Else, we assume it's a percent, and it's going to go through this nested if. So this if is put inside the other if. And this code will only be executed if it was not a level that was that was put into the computer. Okay, great. So that's what I mean by a nested structure, and one thing inside the next thing. It can make our programs get more complicated and more meaningful. The other thing I want to show you is this idea of the get : So it says get subject : and it says note this, the : part grabs the entire line of text. And we've been sort of seeing this. If I run this program and it says what subject, if I put in computer science and I pressed enter, the get command would actually just grab that first word. And I'm going to go ahead and finish this off here. Do you have your mark as a level or percent? Please enter your percent, 77. Bam. And notice that it actually put out the entire input. But before, where is my other program, my little program here, that if I just got the name, so for instance, oh yeah, I need to declare that variable. You don't have this program, but you're listening to me anyway. That's all good. And it's a string. Good. What's the name? The name is Sid Crosby. And then it put out the name. It only grabbed the first word because as soon as it got a space, it cut off the name. And not only is that not what you want as a programmer, it can actually cause errors in your program. So if we got the entire name like that and ran it, so Mario Lemieux. I wish I knew how to spell Lemieux. Lemieux, there. I know it's not spelled like that, but you get the idea. And then it's actually printed out the entire name, even though there's a space in it there. So that : is a very handy thing if you need to get a whole line of text. If you only want one word, then just use get. Back to the program, I have one more comment to make. Down here, when I had the processing and output, the output was right there, and printed off a pretty nice statement. It didn't matter whether it was a mark, your mark was a percent or a level, but it printed out the entire thing. But it says no processing, and I wanted to mention that this here is all processing, really. The input was just the two questions, right? This get was an input, this get was an input. So I could have taken this entire case structure out and put it in the processing section. And probably for good programming style, that's what I would want to do. Um, However, I would have to put it in another if statement in the processing anyway. So this is maybe saving me a few lines of code, even though it's mixing up the IPO. The processing actually occurred in the input section in my program. Perhaps it would have been more accurate to call this input and processing. Okay, that's all I wanted to say about that. Make sure you save this. I think we might use this program, or at least a version that you've fixed up later. Oh, there's one last thing, one more thing I wanted to mention. In this section, I remember seeing a lot of you in class that you would say if percent's less than 50, okay, it's an R, but else if percent is less than 60 and percent is greater than 50. So you'd make this um, a compound decision, which is fine, except for if this is happening, if it's to this stage, this has already failed. It's not less than 50, which means if it's not less than 50, it's already implied to be greater than 50, and I can make my code a little more efficient by not having a compound decision. Okay, and that's a little bit of logic in there. Hopefully you can follow that logic. And notice that in both the case structure for the level and the if structure for the percent, I had a catch-all in case somebody entered a goofy mark, and then it would still print out some goofy output, but the program still works. Okay, that's all I had to say about that. Save up this program, and then now probably you're on with some exercises today.